Hello, this is Lora Lefhae, your host for the Less Traveled Path to True Purpose. What if finding purpose is actually about allowing yourself to bloom in your authenticity, to accept and express your own natural beauty? This experience for me of interviewing all these fantastic leaders, coaches, and they're all so beautifully engaged with life. It's such a blessing. My sincere hope is that you'll listen to each one and allow these 11 days to be like a journey for you, where you can see purpose in a whole different way. My special guest today is Elizabeth Murray. Elizabeth is a best-selling author. She's a gardener, an artist, and a lifestyle innovator. She inspires and enables people to deepen their creativity, spirituality, and connection to nature for more purpose and passion. Elizabeth helped restore Monet's gardens in Giverny, France, and has photographed them for 30 years. She is a renowned expert on Monet's gardens as art and creating sacred space. She is the author of 6 books, including Monet's Passion, Living Life in Full Bloom, and Cultivating Sacred Space. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
It's really a pleasure to have you. I know that you just completed a TED Talk, so I want to congratulate you. If you'll tell me how people can find that, I'd love for them to be able to listen to that.
It's TEDx.org or TEDxSantaCruz.org, and then eventually it'll be on YouTube as well. And mine is Garden Like a Lover is the name.
What a great name. That's a great title. So my first question for you is, what does finding purpose mean to you?
Well, I think for me it means going deep inside, and it's about remembering my childhood and keeping in alignment with what I have always loved, and actually I've never lost or left, which is intimacy with nature through the wild as well as through the cultivated garden, and creativity and spirituality. So those 3 have always been my purpose, and sometimes that's meant that I was a gardener or a teacher or doing a lot of spiritual work with people, and a writer, of course, photographer, gardens, lecturer, workshop, but it's always those 3 elements. So it's really finding spirit in nature, and that's been my love and my passion since I was a little girl, and that evokes my own creativity in others. So that's been the thread, and I think when I think of it, it's about following your North Star. And when I help people find what their passions are or remember, a lot of times it's remembering them. It's like a dream that maybe you got pulled off the path for a while. Other things came in the way, and so you get off your path, and then it's just the realignment of it to remember it again. And I think that when we are aligned with our passions and our purpose, that our work has an opening and a generosity and a joy, and it is able to be much more potent, and our lives are filled with meaning, but also it radiates out, so it ignites and inspires others a great deal.
That's very beautiful. Thank you for that. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that in terms of they've had some experience, but they may never have made that connection that you're referring to, of thinking, oh, that's my passion. And because I think a lot of people maybe think that purpose is about what you're doing as opposed to who you are and what comes through you. Does that sound right?
I think it's a both and. It's not either or.
Mm-hmm.
And when we are aligned with our passions, what really that fire inside that needs no wood, that passion that you're so excited about, what you really, really love, maybe it's children or nature or animals or some kind of creative expression or whatever it is, that then you will be wealthy whether you have lots of money in the bank or not, because you will be fulfilled. And I think this is really important. And then also, for me, the process of like prayer or meditation or inward journey to make sure to recheck. And it's kind of like, for me, it's kind of like a compass or following a map, that I really don't know where I'm going and there really isn't any map. But if you have kind of a North Star that you have created out of your values and your passion, then at least you can realign yourself. You know, like you're on the seas, and maybe there's stormy seas, and maybe it's nighttime, and maybe it's cloudy, and you don't see the stars. But somehow you have that inner heart compass that you can realign to. So for myself, I do a lot of inner work. And it's not anything fancy, but it's quietness. It's a lot of inner quietness, journal writing, sometimes collaging, prayer, asking my ancestors, asking nature, asking spirit, all kinds of study religions around the world, or shamanism around the world, but, you know, asking for guidance. And I keep following and pushing myself a bit, so that I'm continually serving the greater good that I really believe in. And then I push myself to go farther. Yeah, that was great. Now go farther, go more. The world needs us so much, especially our feminine voices right now. And so that's part of my purpose, is to keep pushing. And that's why I did the TED Talk, which was really hard, but also exhilarating and an awesome experience, but not a simple one at all.
So I read your book, Living Life in Full Bloom, and I loved it. It was just immensely inspiring to me. And there's a practice in that book called life mapping, and I wondered if you'd talk a little bit about that.
Well, this life mapping is a process that a couple of my friends came up with during Duncan Berry and during a Zen retreat for 30 days. And then he taught me, and then I've kind of changed it, and we've practiced it together for a number of years, and now I've been teaching it. And basically it's to really be clear what your passions are, what you really love. And for some people that is lists and lists, and for some people it's a very few things. It's very finite, whatever. Then the second is to really be clear what your gifts and talents are. Where are your skills? And that's different. And some people have them overlapping, like a passion for me, let's say, is photography or painting, and that's also a skill. So sometimes we have them overlap. Some people are completely separate. And then there's the part of, what do you think the world needs right now? Healthy children, world peace, whatever it is, small and big. And then there's a process of connecting them all, so that you don't have everything in separate silos, that your life and your purpose is really combined with your passions and your skills. And sometimes we have to up our skills, like, oh gosh, I need to learn digital photography better, or whatever it is. And then the center is to really find what will be your guidance, what will be your North Star, and how will you keep yourself in balance. Balance financially, balance emotionally, spiritually, in your health. Because some of us will overextend. We'll be so passionate and so excited, but we won't have any financial stability, or our health will get way overextended. So that's an important realm as well. So that's important just to consider. And so this process, I have it in the back of the book, and I encourage people to work with it, and I also offer workshops in it. But groups can try this and do it, and you can work with it throughout the year and help yourself realign, keep realigning.
And if someone feels like they are, it feels like their passions are in one part of their life, and then their work and their all the daily things that they have to do, kind of the mundane piece, that's in another category. If they're kind of compartmentalizing, do you have any advice around that?
Well, sometimes it's to have more fun, playfulness, joyfulness, brings more delight and crosses things over, so that a daily routine, whether, some people love cooking, some people can't stand cooking. Oh, I just got to feed myself. But bring delight. How do you bring delight? How do you bring deeper conversations so that nothing is a daily grind, that when you have to wait for your children in line at school or whatever, that you're doing a little meditation, that all your time is really something that is feeding you or letting you empty out, that even weeding in the garden is like I love weeding in the garden, so I have some inner time in nature. But to keep bringing in delight, and that brings gratitude, and that brings presence of just what we call mundane, like taking a bath or making the bed, washing the dishes. Those can actually be like little meditations and little gratitudes of, wow, I have this bed I can sleep in, and wow, this lovely water that I can take a bath in, so that there's nothing that is completely routine, and so that we're always, when we're in a gratitude and in a appreciation and presence, then our life is just fuller, and we're not in that way of I need more, I'm not good enough, I'm in comparison and judgment, oh, I'm in a drained kind of incompletion, which I believe makes people want to buy more things, go more materialistic, rather than that depth of what I have is enough. And, oh, the delight of learning to draw or to learn to sing or to play an instrument or to play with my children, or I don't have any children, so I'm going to invite some other children in, or mentor a teen, or help somebody in their garden. My neighbor is helping her next door neighbor who's overworked, just make her garden lovely, and inviting the children to help them. So it's, we can do it in all different kinds of ways.
Yeah, it's a precious way to live, I think, what you're describing.
Yeah, that is what wealth is. I really believe our earth, our precious earth, cannot support the kind of wealth that the old story of, showing a new car or a big house or showing wealth or having all these material things. Our wealth has to come from within. Our connection to creativity, spirituality, community, nature, purpose, meaning, that's the wealth. And because there's no guarantees, you might have a lot of money in the bank and somehow it got lost. And it's really about our inner richness and igniting that in others. So if we support other people, it overflows to us rather than, like holding back and, oh, I got to be in competition, No,
right.
No. Abundance, that abundance.
Mm-hmm. So self-acceptance, I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I think what you're describing, I think self-acceptance might be, or self-compassion might be a precursor for that kind of mindset where you can make all the aspects of your life meaningful, even the simple things or the mundane things, taking a bath, doing something, and just bringing your presence of mind to that. It seems like there may be kind of a mindset that you shift into. I'm guessing you're in it most of the time, from what I can tell, but I think I'm just wondering if you feel like self-acceptance or self-compassion figures into that at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been a hard struggle for me because I had a very lot of difficulties growing up. There was a lot of problems in my family, extreme problems, cancer, mental health problems, welfare problems, abuse problems, alcoholism. We had a lot of difficulties. But we also had these great wealths, nature, art, community, other brothers and sisters. So, but I'm saying my 5 brothers and sisters, we also had to work through a lot of things and to work with my own sense of self-esteem for ever. And even now, like if I get insecure or the child in me, like just before the TED Talk, getting all shaky and, oh my God, just saying prayers, and asking my ancestors to stand behind me, to, the little mantra of I love you, I believe in you, and also reaching out and encouraging others, not in a false way, but in a, we are in it together. So when we reweave community, we don't have to stand by ourselves. And I think that the self-compassion also happens with compassion for others. And I was thinking about that word because compassion, it's like community, and passion is something that I'm really a part of my daily life. And so when we can be together, it took me years. My mom died on my 21st birthday, and she had 11 years of illness. And it took me years to really give compassion to her completely and forgiveness for some destructive things and hurtful things, and to always be, to also see this appreciation of her and the appreciation of the gifts. So I don't think it's like we got it done and it's over. Mm-hmm. I think it gets better. It's like grief. It gets better, but it's still something that, things come up and they challenge us, or the grief comes up and we fall apart. So it's a gentle continual to work. And I do believe we do have these like hurt children within us, or these rambunctious teenagers or whatever. So like working with them in a sweet way. Okay, thank you so much. And anyway, it is it's like a garden, like it's not done. Nothing's done, Maybe the trees are more mature and you've gotten your self-compassion and self-esteem more together than you did earlier in your life. The garden's more mature within yourself. But it is a process, and as we challenge ourselves and push our purpose and deepen and expand out, which the world is calling us to do, I feel, then we're always meeting a new bar. We're always meeting something new. And then it's like, oh, my God, I'm not good at this. I've never done this before. And so then we have to go, okay, you rest more, eat something before, whatever it is that takes care of you. Or have some silence. Talk to this friend who always cheers you on, or whatever it is that you take care of yourself, or your affirmations. But that's what we have to do for ourselves so that we keep, we can keep progressing.
Right. I love that expression you had, that reweave community. That's beautiful. And we're all in it together, whether they're your siblings or whether it's neighbors. We're all in it together because we're all in the human soup, aren't we?
Well, yeah, and we're on this precious earth that needs all of us to change our lifestyles and chip in and make a difference, and bring up children, even if you don't have children, so that we're all like, it's some homeless person or some child who's struggling in school. It's all our children. It's like the beloved community. We're all within it, and we all have skills greater than someone else. And we all have gifts greater, and we all have less than other people. So it's not about that comparison and judgment. I'm better or I'm less. It's about, I can stand in my sufficiency. I can be deep-rooted. I can be flexible. And I can offer what I can. And then I can replenish myself, whether it's with rest or food or water, and then I can give again. So a lot of us women, we tend to overextend and overgive and then get depleted and then get all shaky about ourselves or angry or whatever. So it's that a cycle of giving and letting ourselves be given to or give to our own selves. And that's part of that self-compassion and self-care.
Beautifully said. And I think that your book, Living in Full Bloom, for me at least, it really, it achieved that for me in terms of giving me that little piece of silence, that little piece of inspiration. Just so beautiful, your photographs. And I found a video of your why, essentially, your big why in creating that book. And it was so moving and so beautiful. And I loved how you talked about your method for creating some of those photographs, and how, I think, did you do drawings over the top of them, or somehow it was, or maybe it was two photographs put together? It just gave them a slightly different feel, so you couldn't quite tell if it was an actual photograph or a painting, they're so beautiful.
Thank you. Well, I did have drawings that I made, and I did have some paintings in here, and then some of my photographs, a lot of my photographs for the book, I did with my iPhone and then layered apps on it, which is another tool that I teach. But I wanted my book, for your people who haven't seen it, every page is a practice. And so each page I want it to be beautiful. So each page has a drawing and a photograph. And I worked for over 4 years on it, and it's in the pathways of the gardener to have intimacy with nature, and then the artist to expand your creativity and imagination for everybody. The pathway of the lover to get connected to your heart and what has meaning to you, and then the spirit weaver, which is all about gratitude and blessings and reweaving community. And these, so there's the 120 practices, and I came up with like 1,000 practices, and it was really a challenge for me I'd rather expand than contract, so it was really a big deal. Okay, how do I really focus? What's the most potent? And this is like my medicine, being a medicine woman, being a healer person. This is my offering, like your offering is your interviews, and this is one of my offerings to give what I feel are important nourishment to people today in a direction of creativity and earth and spirit.
Well, thank you for that. So we're just about to wrap up here, and I just wondered, do you have any other tips or suggestions for our listeners who might be searching for their purpose or trying to figure out which passions to pursue or how to pursue all of them?
Well, I'm as I said, I'm all about doing lots of things. I don't feel like you have to just say one. Now, some people wouldn't agree. I think that a weaving of many colors or a patchwork of many fabrics is much more interesting. And as we age, or as economics or children or different things come and change in our lives, you can do some more than others. So if writing, photography, painting, teaching, gardening, flower arranging, cooking, like all these things, there's traveling, all of them we can make threads that connect them all. And things that enliven you, things be playful, be joyful, be in gratitude, bring your friends, and it doesn't have to take a lot of money. You can do it with, potlucks and hiking, and so how to re-enliven, reconnect, bring in that joy, and offer it to others, family members, community members, elders, young children, whatever. I think that will ignite and help people focus on purpose and what gives them joy, what gives them spark, and have some kind of a spiritual life, some kind of connection.
Thank you. I so appreciate talking to you today. It's been wonderful. I felt like I kind of got to know you a little bit through your book, in my mind anyway. So it's been really a pleasure for me to actually speak to you and connect with you. And I know that you've given us some really great value here. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. And time and nature, that's probably number one for me. So, well, thank you, and thank you for your good work.
Thank you.
This program inspires many, many people that you'll never know what seeds you're planting.
Yes, seeds. Yes, that's a theme of mine, planting seeds and never knowing what happens with them. It's one of my mantras is to not worry about what happens with them.
Yeah. We take care of the ones we can, and then we trust the other ones that we don't even know where they've been sown.
Right, exactly. All right. Well, thank you so much. Elizabeth.
You're welcome.
All right. And thank you to all of you out there listening. I'll catch you next time.